Okay, what is up there, YouTube? This is J Man Time, and today I have yet another video on yet another forgotten slash rare weapon system, this time coming from Poland. And in this video, we're going to go over one of the rarest Polish military jet trainers that was developed in the early 2000s and could have been a useful export system if the Polish had taken it seriously. And this aircraft here is one of my favorite of the rare Polish prototype weapon system, or in this case, training systems, to be developed in the early 2000s, and is the Polish-made Margański Mysłowski EM-10 Bielik. The Bielik meaning white-tailed eagle in Polish. This is a rare experimental Polish military jet trainer aircraft that was developed by a small Polish company or aircraft and glider manufacturing company known as the Margański and Mysłowski Aeronautical Company back in the year of 2003. Now, this aircraft is famous for being made almost completely out of carbon fiber. Most of the aircraft's fuselage is made out of carbon fiber, with the exception of the area housing the engine, or the propulsion system, which was mostly made out of light steel and aluminum alloys. Now, this aircraft here was one of the early post-war Polish aircraft projects or trainer aircraft projects to come in the late 90s and early 2000s. It was designed by a Polish designer by the name of Edward Margański, who came up with this idea in the late 90s and early 2000s, with the prototype being flown in June of 2003. Now, this ultralight experimental jet trainer has a maximum weight of just 1,700 kilograms or 3,700 pounds. It is powered by an American General Electric CJ610-6 turbojet engine, which is a turbojet engine that was manufactured way back in the 1960s and early 70s. This aircraft here had a maximum speed of 1,100 kilometers or 680 miles or Mach 0.9, and a maximum crew capacity of 2. It had a maximum range of 2,500 kilometers or 1,600 nautical miles with external auxiliary fuel tanks. And it was also one of the smallest aircraft, or one of the smallest of the jet trainer aircraft, to be fitted with a pressurized cockpit. That this aircraft was actually moving past the speed of sound, which is 600 miles per hour. Now, the reason I like this aircraft so much is because it had the potential of being a major export aircraft. Now, keep in mind, the modern Polish Air Force is currently buying trainer aircraft from South Korea, mostly in the form of the South Korean T-50. The T-50 is a South Korean jet trainer. It is also used as a light fighter by the South Korean Air Force. And since the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Poland has been buying up jet trainer aircraft from a variety of Western countries and Eastern countries, including South Korea and the South Korean T-50 jet trainer. But many Polish aircraft engineers have been designing jet trainer aircraft since the fall of the Warsaw Pact in the early 1990s, and this Margański Mysłowski EM-10 Bielik was one of the experimental jet trainers that could have been adopted by the Polish armed forces if they had found a buyer for this aircraft. Now again, this aircraft was tested in the early 2000s between 2003 and 2005, but unfortunately Edward Margański could not find a buyer for this aircraft. Now, you would think that his company would be able to mass produce this aircraft on their own, but no. The Margański and Mysłowski Aircraft and Glider Company is mostly known for making light single-seat gliders and paraglider type aircraft, not fully functioning military jet trainer aircraft like this EM-10 Bielik. As a result, only a single prototype was ever built in the year 2003. It was showcased to a variety of investors between 2003 and 2005, but ultimately it could not find any buyers and the project was canceled by 2006. Now, to me, this aircraft here was wasted potential. If Margański had found an investor, they could have begun manufacturing this aircraft. They could have been used as a standard jet trainer, or at least an entry-level jet trainer, by the Polish Air Force of the Polish Armed Forces. And if it had been mass-produced in any large numbers, it could have been a useful export aircraft, as a number of European NATO members and a large number of other countries are looking for low-cost, inexpensive military jet trainer aircraft. If the project had succeeded even farther beyond that, the Margańskis could have designed design their own fighter jet. For example, the South Koreans with their T-50 jet trainer, they eventually went on to develop a experimental 4.5 jet known as the Borame. The Borame is a 4.5 generation fighter jet that is modeled after the American F-35 Lightning, except it is less stealthier than the F-35. But all that started because of South Korea's investment in jet trainer aircraft like the South Korean T-50. Poland could have been the same thing if they had continued with projects like this, EM-10 and Bielik, but unfortunately the project was cancelled, and Poland now largely relies on aircraft imported from countries like the United States and now South Korea. But the Margański and Mysłowski EM-10 Bielik could have been Poland's first step into manufacturing their own line of military jet trainer aircraft. So what do you all think of this? Please tell me in the comment section below. And until next time, this was a J-Man Time signing off.